Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers. My name is Lara and we're here at Bite Me Burger in DIFC. Now joining me this morning is a very special guest, and of course we're talking about none other than Jessy Rebekah Pereira, the lady behind Rebekah's Bespoke. Hello and a very warm welcome. How are you doing, Jessy?
Hi Lara, thank you for your welcome. It's good to meet you and good to be here.
It's such a pleasure to have you with us on the show this morning.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now we're going to start off by asking you to tell us a little bit more about Jessy Rebekah Pereira. Who is she? Who are you? And how long have you been in the region? And what are the different business activities that you're involved in?
Right. Well, Lara, a little bit about myself. I'm from India and I have my family here. I'm a mother of 4 children.
Mashallah.
I'm a very creative person. I love music. I love dresses, I love good food. Well, my background actually is wealth management and financial advice. That is the background that I'm qualified in and have experience in previously. But most recently, I've started the business Rebekah's Bespoke, which is a bridal wear and occasion wear company. So we do design wedding dresses and occasion wear. It's all custom made. As a bridal stylist, with all my experience and knowledge of the past 5 years, I talk to brides and help them style their special day with accessories, with their style, basically bringing out their personality in their wedding dress. So at Rebekah's, we believe it's not just about saying yes to the dress, I love that dress. It's also about allowing the dress to say yes to you. So we make dream dresses a reality. It's been a wonderful journey working with some talented dressmakers who've had more than 20 years of experience. There's a lot that we learn from our clients. There are trends, patterns, and styles that have changed, particularly recently. A lot of things that we've had to adapt to. The new normal. So it's been exciting, it's been challenging, it's been a great journey so far, and we're really looking forward with a lot of positivity to the future.
We're very glad to hear you say that. That's amazing, that's wonderful, and I'm sure every bride has an unforgettable experience when it comes to Rebekah's Bespoke. Now, the styling that's involved, is it strictly for the bride, or is it for the bridesmaids and the groom and the ushers? And is it an entire experience, or is it strictly focused on the bride itself, herself?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking that, because that is a very important part of styling. At Rebekah's, we take care of the bridal party. The entire bridal entourage. So that would be the bride, the mother of the bride, sometimes the mother of the groom, the bridesmaids, the flower girls. So it's a whole bridal party that we take care of. The groomsmen can take care of themselves, but at Rebekah's it's the bride and her girls, the bride tribe as we call it. So we do regular posts and blogs on what's trending in terms of wedding themes, wedding colors of the season, the Pantone colors of the year. So we are able to discuss all of this with brides, give them suggestions for different color palettes for their bridesmaids. One thing we always advise both brides and their bridal party is to shop for your shape. So choose a style, choose a silhouette that complements your body shape and your personal style. Of course, the most important being the bride and her bridesmaids as well. So we do encourage bridesmaids to choose a pattern that complements their body shape type. You can go with the wedding theme color, which is great, but there's not one size that fits all, does it?
No, of course.
So give your bridesmaids the liberty and freedom to choose a style that doesn't contradict the wedding theme, but at the same time accentuates their personality. So that is our advice. Yes, and of course we're working with a lot of wedding vendors. We're listed with Brides Club Middle East, which is the leading wedding directory of the UAE.
That's true.
So as part of the network, we work with wedding photographers, event planners, wedding planners, makeup artists, wedding florists. So we do put them in touch with these services and we engage with these vendors so we know what's happening in the industry in terms of trends, in terms of styles, in terms of new wedding venues and locations. And of course, with all that's happening, we keep our brides updated with it in terms of what are the protocols in the current climate as well. Yeah.
That's wonderful to know. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Jessy. Now, moving on to the IWES, International Women's Entrepreneur Society. How did you come across this amazing platform? How did you come to know about them?
Well, you will hear me using the word tribe a lot. I spoke about Bride Tribe.
Yes.
I believe in women power and the girl tribe a lot. I've not just in my business, in my career, I've just come across and had the privilege of knowing so many women who are just so supportive of each other when it comes to business, when it comes to career growth, and queens fixing each other's crowns. So I networked with a lot of women, and I met Yvonne Spiller, who's a good friend of Cardella, and she invited me to the IWES conference, and that was an amazing 2 days well spent with a lot of entrepreneurial women who had wonderful stories, and how they were sharing these journeys of how they evolved into the person they are and how they reinvented themselves. So I just was totally amazed with the network, with the group that was already, the women that were already part of this network, meeting the wonderful panel of speakers and the other attendees. I've just made some good friendships which have really, grown ever since, and we've helped and supported each other. It's just been wonderful coming to know about the IWS. So I'm so glad that, I'm part of this network and part of all that's happening as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Jessy, being the successful female entrepreneur that you are, what tips, what advice do you have for the women out there that want to set up their own business or are starting out? What would you say to them?
Yeah, well, I would definitely advise that, every business needs to have a business plan. You need to know not just how you will start, but where you want to see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years from now, and to take those little steps on a daily basis to be able to achieve where you'd like to be in 5 years and where you'd like to be in 10 years. Don't try to do it alone. Don't try to do it all by yourself. You might be a sole entrepreneur, but you do need a village or a community of supportive men and women, people whom you can trust. Have good business mentor or a business mentor. One of my business mentors has been Kelly Lumberg. She's been very supportive in her advice, in really pushing me, and it's just so important to have that network, to meet people. Iron sharpens iron. There's so much that you can learn from other business entrepreneurs. Collaborate with people who probably have the same client base as yourself, because you are, as my example, for instance, in the wedding industry, anyone who needs a wedding dress would need a wedding photographer, would need a wedding florist, would need a makeup artist. So keep in touch with, other peers in your industry. Meet with them. Meet with even your competitors. There's so much that you can learn from. You can give advice from your experience. There could be a lot of collaborations that you could do to help each other, to support each other. So always have a good network of supportive people. Be open to criticism as well, because that would just help you perfect what you're doing, and look at things, and they would help you spot blind spots that you didn't even know existed. So don't try to do it alone. Get all the support that you can. Get good mentors and a business coach who you're accountable to, who can speak into your life. And it takes a whole village to build a business. It does. I've learned that, and it's been a good journey so far.
We're very glad to hear you say that. Now, Jessy, being a female in the Middle East and an entrepreneur as well, what would you say has been your greatest obstacle or your greatest challenge, if there has been any?
Well, in every business, there would be challenges. There would be challenges of space, there would be challenges of budget, but as a creative person, when you have a team that you share these challenges with, I've not really come across any big obstacle or something that's just particularly unique to me as a woman or unique to me being in the wedding industry. I've really not really come across something that was just so massive that really held me down. They've always been people whom I could call and check, how to go through certain procedures or how to overcome certain challenges. So it has taken time, but you always have that support. As I said, I've been part of networks, so I just shoot out because, or guys, this is what I'm facing. Have any of you gone through this? What would be a way? I might not get an immediate response or a solution, but there's help available. That you need to go this route, or so and so would know that. So there is. Challenges are part of growth, and if there is no challenge, if there is no obstacle that you were to overcome, life would be extremely boring, wouldn't it?
I completely agree.
Yeah. So I believe the UAE has been definitely home for me now for over almost 25 years.
Wow, that's a lifetime.
I've really seen how things have become more streamlined and easier for businessmen and women to set up here in the UAE. And we're led by wonderful leaders, who have this foresight and vision. And it's been great being part of the UAE past 25 years. And for any businessman or woman, I would strongly recommend setting up a business in this country.
So Jessy, where do you get your strength from? What keeps you going?
I draw my strength from God. I have a personal relationship with God, with Lord Jesus Christ, and I have wonderful times of fellowship and prayer every single day, many times during the day. And prayer is a two-way communication where you start by giving thanks for what you have already and what you have, all the blessings that you have is from God. And then you present your requests with thanksgiving to God. And there's just such wonderful peace that guards your heart and mind. You may not get an immediate solution, or you may not see an immediate solution to any challenge or a situation that you need help in. But regardless of that, a sense of peace that comes, that God is in control, just helps me during the day. So I make sure I download that strength and have that conversation with God. And sometimes He speaks to us through His word, sometimes through people, sometimes through situations as well. That is my source of strength and help. And I just grow in that every day. It's just a beautiful personal relationship with God.
That's lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, moving on to your passion about music. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I grew up with musicians. My mom would sing, my dad played the accordion, my mom played the Hawaiian guitar. So they always nurtured us in music, even to this day. And so I sing a lot. I play the guitar, I play the piano, and most recently I've started teaching myself the bass guitar. It's always good to learn a new skill. It just helps you train your brain, it just helps you think differently when you're learning a new instrument. I'm very much involved in the church worship team. I've always been part of college music shows, and I've even written songs, and that's something I've taken very, very seriously this year. It started again, during the pandemic with all the time that you had. So I spent a lot of time in worship, in songwriting, in learning new chord progressions. And yeah, that is something that, will be the next chapter of my life. Writing songs, leading worship, being more involved in music ministry.
That's incredible. That's amazing. But how do you manage with the time? I mean, you're a mother of four, an entrepreneur, very spiritual, into music. So how do you manage? How do you balance everything?
Well, I don't have a perfect balance, and I what's important is to have a plan for the next few days, for the next week, of what you will be doing work-wise, what you will be cooking. And I always try to finish off the hardest parts of the things in the first half of the day, so that when I come home, music is just so relaxing. And because of the fact that my boys are involved in music as well, one of them is a drummer, there's a lead guitarist, so I have a full-on music band at home.
You have a band at home.
Music just helps me, unwind. It just calms me. It just takes me to a different level. And talking about how I manage the things that I've not been able to tick off to the list, I'm cool about that. What helps us not manage is sometimes the concern that I've not been able to do this. As long as you have a plan and you've done 70% of what you intended to do, you're good.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. We could learn a lot from you, Jessy. Thank you. Tell us a little bit more about the process that's involved in creating these beautiful wedding dresses, as well as the latest trends for 2020.
Well, at Rebekah's Bespoke, we believe that every bride should look absolutely gorgeous and beautiful on her wedding day. It's all about her style, it's all about her personality. So we do offer complimentary first consultations appointments for all our brides-to-be. And we have a very simple online bridal survey form. Tell me more about your dress that we send out to every bride-to-be before she comes in to our Bridal-wear boutique. 10 very simple questions with multiple options. So when is your wedding? Where is the wedding? Do you know your body shape, style, silhouette, choice of fabric, big flowers, small flowers, crystal, no crystal? Your taste is very simple and chic, modern. No, you would like to have a more elaborate dress. Every bride is different. So it helps us get to know what the bride is looking for, even in terms of budget, before she comes into our boutique. The bride gets to try on some prototype dresses. We do have a lovely collection of wedding dresses that we have designed in every silhouette. We have beach wedding dresses, from beach wedding dresses right up to elaborate ball gowns as well. The advice that we would give to our brides is shop your shape. If you don't know your body shape, we would help you analyze what your body shape is and make the recommendations. So you might have a dream dress, which is great, but we could help you transition to a body shape type which will suit a silhouette rather, which suit your body shape type, and then take in the details from your dream dress and create something that's unique, something that would enhance your looks as a bride. It's very important to have a budget. Yeah, it's so that your dream dress fits into the budget, and we don't bring out dresses that probably don't suit into your budget. Take your venue into consideration. You're obviously not going to be wearing a ball gown for a beach wedding. Having said that, during what's happening now, venues have changed. You could have initially planned a summer wedding, and now you're having a wedding in the winter, or you're changing your destination to a country that's cooler. So we may have to add, extra layers of lining, maybe full sleeves. So we need to be, ready to adapt to those changes. What is very important is your bridal entourage as well. When you're coming in for fittings and trying on dresses, make sure you lay the ground rules. You have supportive friends who know what you're looking for, who know what your style is, and don't create any conflict or confusion, so that you're clear about what you're looking for. So bring your friends, bring your families. Not more than 2 or 3 is what we advise, but they should know what you're looking for. Now, in terms of bridal trends that we're seeing this year, there's a lot of transition towards comfort and elegance. It's your party, girl, so you don't want to be restricted.
Absolutely.
And most brides are opting for chic styles, for simple styles. That's what we're seeing. Another trend that we've seen is a contrasting lining. Add a bit of pop of color with maybe beige, maybe a blush lining. It enhances the lace fabric if that's what you're choosing. Twin dresses, you could have a skirt, an overskirt over your wedding dress for the chapel or the wedding ceremony, and then take off the detachable skirt for your party, and then you'll be free to dance and move around and just enjoy the night.
Wonderful.
So that's another trend we've seen. Also, bridal jumpsuits is what we've seen. You could have a long bolero or a long jacket with a train and a jumpsuit underneath that.
I've seen quite a few of those recently.
Yeah, and
they're
we've
beautiful.
yes. So there's a lot of options. There's there's choice of transitioning in the same wedding dress, from a detachable skirt or a jumpsuit with a long train bolero to have a different look for the party, for the evening. Those are the trends that we're seeing. And of course, what we have adapted to is making personalized bridal masks to match your dress.
Oh, wow.
So every bride gets maybe one or two masks which have embellishments from the dress to match the dress. It needs to be comfortable, it should not smudge your makeup, and it's something unique for these times that some brides would need to use. Probably not through the entire ceremony, but most of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Jessy. It's been lovely having you with us on the show today, and we want to wish you continued growth and success in all your future ventures.
Thank you very much for having me. Lovely meeting you, Lara.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you, Jessy. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for. My name is Lara, signing off. Until next time.